Would limiting the number of international students entering Canada affect the current housing crisis?
I don't think that's the problem with the housing crisis. I
we
think that
need more
without
people.
them, well, for starters, our population plummets if we don't have immigrants, and international students bring a lot to the table. So I think I don't think that's the issue with our housing.
And housing crisis, students roommate constantly, so there's a bunch of people in one house all the time anyway, so it's not like they're taking up a huge amount of space.
I don't think so. I'm a huge proponent for diversity and bringing all walks of life and anybody anywhere wherever they want to go. So I'm a huge advocator for immigration and bringing people to Canada. Canada's amazing, and the more voices we can get, the better.
I believe there is a shortage on housing, definitely, and I think it would definitely help. Yeah, there's a lot of people already living in the community that are already struggling, so adding more people to that will just definitely affect it.
That's not because of international students. That's because of the way that people are spending their money and the way that people are jacking up prices and the way that our economy is going, which is more, again, directly related to the government.
Probably not.
No.
No, we just need to build more houses and make like housing more affordable for like everyday Canadians. Limiting international students is probably not a logical solution to a housing crisis.
I mean, they're looking for places to live, which means owners and landlords they're just jacking their prices up out of range just so that nobody can afford to, and especially the students. We need this. We need the immigration, and we need the students.
I think that's super hard because Canada is such a diverse country itself that limiting people coming in is something that I don't think we can really do. However, I do think it is a problem, like the balance. I think trying to find maybe a more stable balance between international and domestic students would be more fair.
Yeah, I think that there's lots of international students who provide skills and cultural intelligence that maybe Native Canadians don't, and I think that they're an asset to our society. But I think definitely there needs to be a more balance between the two. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think limiting is the answer because it's always really interesting to have students from everywhere. I'm a little biased because all my friends went to uni in Montreal. But I think maybe focusing on getting uni-specific housing or kind of making sure they kind of build some houses so that students can feel that they can buy those instead of taking some houses off the market for everyone else. I mean, definitely it is students will want to get a house, so that is a problem, and, the market's already pretty busy, but I feel like maybe if they just kind of focus on getting specific uni ones, then the students would focus on those rather than just take any other house off the market. But I don't think we should limit the foreign students because I do think they're really interesting, and it's really cool to be able to learn somewhere else.
Possibly. It all depends on the number and whether they have prior arrangements of their arrival, where they're going to stay. If they just all arrive and there has been no arrangements made, and if they take away from local housing, it should be an issue, but there should be probably a more controlled way of figuring out the numbers and if it all works out.
I really don't think so. I think it's good to get international students. I think Canada relies on people coming in. I'm one of them myself, actually, but so I don't think so. I think we have to do something with the housing crisis, but I don't think that stopping international students coming in will solve that.
It's tough. You got a non-circular economy that relies on immigration, and we ought to welcome and lean into it. On the other hand, we do have a housing crisis spiraling out of control, and if properties aren't going to build up and they build out, then that's going to continue to be problematic.
I disagree. I think, first of all, for universities to survive, they really need the international student fees. It's something that they really rely on, and I don't think it's a bad thing to welcome international students into this. And they honestly, I went to University of Toronto. We had tons of international students, and I loved their perspective and their experiences, and it was a great networking opportunity. The students are not the ones buying single-family homes. Maybe their parents are buying some condos, fine, but when we're talking about a housing crisis, we're really talking about single-family or, the homes across the country. That's what we're lacking. It's a false equivalent, in my opinion.
Well, with people not coming in, so many international students, of course, they are not looking for housing in Canada. But I think that international students bring a lot to our culture and our society as a whole. So the benefits, I think, may not outweigh the costs of it.
No, I think that's a very like temporary, weak measure to actually fix anything substantial here. At the end of the day, if we're bringing in millions of immigrants and we're not building that amount of homes, there's going to be issues there. But the number one priority right now needs to be building those homes, renovating those homes, so that we just have homes for everyone to live in. That's the way I would see it.